AskReddit by Muffin Utensil. What's something you don't think you'll ever do again in your life? Say yes when my gut is telling me no. What about when your mind is telling you no, but your body's telling you yes? I did the wild cave tour at Mammoth Cave where it's like a 6-hour caving adventure and I'll never do it again. I didn't think I was claustrophobic, but crawling through space is so narrow you have to lay flat on your stomach and shimmy your body with no room to even lift your head or turn around. Never again. Some of the areas you crawl through are so tiny that they actually have height and chest circumference limits so people don't get stuck. Nightmare scenario. I would never. Lining up early in the day at a concert with general admission tickets so I can get to the front row. Then never leaving that spot for the entire concert so I can hold my spot while the main act performs. Seen Metallica 24 times live. Always did this in the early years until I realized you can still enjoy it just as much further away where you can breathe lol. Deleted. If it happens, you better call the news. Heroin. Been sober since the 17th of November, 2018 and my life is better than it's ever been. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has given me updates and awards. I've read through and been able to identify with so many who have commented. When you were stuck in that lifestyle, you honestly believe that you can't survive without it. Now looking back, I don't know how I survived so long with it. Extremely lucky. Yeah, I had a great uncle who couldn't kick the habit and died from complications at 62. To be fair, he did almost every drug, so making it to 62 is an achievement in of its own. Feed my dog per pitch in a sat Starbucks, his farts in the car after were death. You were playing games with nature that shouldn't be played. Climb stairway to heaven in Hawaii. I took the legal route. There were several escarpments and super narrow trails. One bad step and you can die up there. Never heard of this one. Where is it? Your description makes me think of Angel's Ladder in Zion. I have wanted to hike that, but recognize that in my late 60s my balance isn't quite what it used to be, so it's off my list. Balance isn't bad, just not mountain goat like it used to be. Base my entire sense of self-worth on somebody else. It wrecked me. Hopefully, chemo. In remission for 3 years now, still going strong. Edit. Thank you for all the love. I feel that man. Got 3 more treatments to do before I'm free, but I'm in remission. D. Pick up and snuggle the kids. They're grown now with kids of their own. My 17-year-old was having a rough time and she asked me to come cuddle. I've never moved so fast in my life. She hasn't asked for a cuddle in years. Skydive. Biggest rush but once is enough. My wife went tandem skydiving and her main chute didn't open and they had to use the reserve. Then about a year later her friend called her and said one of the instructors they had went with had died in an accident. Get married. I lost my husband to cancer 7 years ago when he was 48 and I was 45. I can't imagine ever loving someone that much again. I can relate. My husband passed away unexpectedly when I was 38 and he was 41. That was 2 years ago and I can't imagine getting married again, but my kids are still young so who knows what the future will bring when I'm an empty nester. Ride a roller coaster. You'll take care of your back, because when it goes, your life choices are reduced. Yep. I've gotten muscle spasms just from moving the wrong way. I won't even go to an amusement park anymore. Trust the electric company to trim the oak trees in my front yard. They chopped down 2 mature trees and left the firewood in a giant pile in the driveway as a favor. Fuck you, Duke Progress Energy, fuck you. I'm so sorry. I've known other people have the same experience with trees being trimmed. There's a sense of grief and frustration. Cocaine. Edit. I have not done it for over 30 years. I was hooked for a couple years in Florida when it was everywhere and dirt cheap in the 1980s. The thought of it now nauseates me. Yup. I got asked about this from a friend not too long ago. She knew how far I went down that road. She asked if I ever get the urge. It's been like 15 years. I do. But the difference is now it wouldn't be fun. It would be sad and only in service of an addiction. I lost a good friend a couple of years ago from this shit heart attack at 40. I don't want to join him. Give birth. Giving birth seems so painful and traumatic. I'm surprised there aren't more one and don'ts. Go to the mall with my friends and watch a movie at the theater. I'm 39 and I took my 80-year-old neighbor to see Barbie yesterday. She was my 11th grade English teacher and we have a strong bond. Anyone wondering? She laughed and cried as much as I did. She also thanked me profusely for inviting her. If you want to make someone's day, bring an elderly woman to see Barbie. Go to a concert where I have to stand. I'm too old for that shit, please just give me seats. Deleted. Get married. Me too. I'm married. Hopefully, drink alcohol. 6 years sober. Congrats. Keep it up. I don't believe that I will be strong enough throughout, but I hope I never try to end my life again. I woke up submersed in cold pink water in a hotel bathtub and that startling moment was as angry as I've ever been. While cleaning, scrubbing the blood up before checking out and just lamenting that I didn't want anything else from this world. Just let me go. All I wanted was an end. And I couldn't even have that. I was enraged at life in those stark seconds. At the prospect of futility and forceful existence. Mad that I'd kept healthy and healed too fast to stay asleep. Didn't go far enough to stay gone. I stared oblivion in the eye and we both blinked. I was about 2 hours over my checkout time but I'd become friendly with the staff so they didn't charge me the extra day. I don't know about never trying again but I know failing at it is a depressing, almost insulting return to reality. So, 2 stars, wouldn't recommend. The suicide attempt I mean, not the hotel. It was probably a solid 3. To Pripyat. My oncologist joked that it's probably how I caught cancer. I visited the USSR a couple months after Chernobyl. The advice at the time was to not eat fish and damp, stay out of the rain. Most meals were included in the trip, but we didn't get to pick our entrees. It was basically take it or leave it. And we got soaked in the rain at least once. When I was diagnosed, I couldn't help but wonder if there was a connection. Meth 17 years sober. Didn't realize it had been so long. Was feeling like shit today but that's cheered me up. So glad I'm nowhere near having that life. I remember sitting on a bed somewhere, use your imagination, just praying to a god I didn't believe in to get me out of there. Had a lot of hell from that point still to come but that was the tipping point. I was going to leave that life if I had to go scorched earth on everything I had and damp everyone I knew. Lose myself while trying to make someone else happy. Except to reconcile after husband's infidelity. It's hell. I'm sorry, hugs to you. My husband told me he is not in love with me. War. Would not recommend 1/10. There's a good reason they send kids to fight them. Smoking cigarette. I sometimes have dreams where I am smoking, but never want to do it in reality again. Be a police dispatcher. I did it for 2 months. My co-workers sucked and were super annoying but I found the job to be pretty easy up until I got a call from someone whose friend posted suicidal stuff online and they are calling to do a welfare check. A few months before I was that person calling and my friend ended up killing himself. I froze. Decided it's not for me. My co-workers all being dog shit people didn't help. One was super racist against Asian people. Anytime someone would have a nation name after she got off the phone with them, she would either say they speak very good English or they don't speak either English very well. A guy got shot and called 911 for help and died on the phone with one of my co-workers. When she was describing the call to us, she was crying laughing when describing the guy gasping for air and playing it out for us. She also talked about all the time she drank and drive. I reported her to HR, then a couple months later she was chosen as Dispatcher of the Year. Every sentence just worse and worse. Work under a supervisor who threatens employment status as motivation. I'm at a new job, and seeing the difference is making me realize the emotional toll that's been taken from me. Some bozo constantly weighing out my livelihood like it's a game is something I'll never endure again. That kind of harassment, manipulation is subhuman. There are plenty of companies perfectly willing to accept my ethic and skill. The grass is, in fact, greener on the other side. Go find it, you're worth it. Do whatever it takes to leave these bozos holding the bag. The world will be a better place without them, and the more we get up and leave, the less of them there will be. Having sushi lunch from bodega prior to an in-person job interview. Sounds like a Seinfeld episode.